channel. So for today we have a very different video. My channel, I've never done this before, but I wanted to start a new series. I know we just finished our holiday one, but I felt like it was time to clean up and declutter a little bit. And since this is the one that is the most like saturated one, I wanted to start with palettes. So I'm gonna start by showing you guys, the palettes and the ones that I'm gonna give away. So I'm gonna start on this side, and this one is the Ace Beauty Grandiose palette, and it looks like this. This palette I got it at BoxyCharm, and honestly it has everything that speaks and screams warm tones. I love how it has this neutral shade to kind of get to add this as a base, and then it makes the other ones really easy to blend off, and it still can give you a really nice and neutral eye if you just use this one and cinnamon, but it gives you a little bit of play as well. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one, so I really like it. I do have a tutorial with that one. I'll link it somewhere in the screen so you guys can see it. This is a little plate that I have, so I'm just gonna put it to the side. I don't know why it's there. And this one is my Ofra palette. I think I got this one also in BoxyCharm. It's like a customizable palette, and I was depotting some shadows from Bisou. This one is, I don't know the name, and this one is Betabel. And I believe these two are highlighters from Luxy Beauty. Yes. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. I don't know what the hell's wrong with my throat. Now this is the Becca and Jaclyn Hill collaboration. This one, I mean, pretty much everybody and their mothers is familiar with. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one because I don't have a lot of palettes. I have blushes and highlighters in one, and I feel like this is great like when you travel. So when I travel, I tend to reach out a lot to this one. So keeping that one. So far it's 3 and 0. So this is the Zulu palette by Juvia's. This is one of those colorful palettes that has a very good pigmentation, and I feel like this palette is a must. I just don't like the size of it, but the shadows are really, really good. So I think I'm gonna keep this one. I might depot them into like a Z palette or something to avoid the packaging, because it is kind of large. If you see, it's even bigger than the Ofra palette, so it's kind of tough to store it. This one is the Tarteist Pro by Tarte, and this is kind of like one of my first Tarte palettes, and I really, really love the pigmentation. I like how the shadows are really bold, but they also give you options to be neutral and colorful at the same time. Now it has all the mattes on this side, and then it has your shimmers on this side, which is something I love. And then another thing that I love is this huge mirror. So yes, girl, yes. So I think I'm gonna keep this one. Now this one is oh my lord. This one is the contour palette from NYX, and you guys could see that I gave it a lot of love. Obviously these two were my favorite shades, and these two were my favorite highlighters. This one I would use when I wanted a little bit of a darker contour, or I had some like darker faces to contour, so I would tend to use this one a lot, but this one was my all-time favorite. I think I'm gonna give this one away because even though I love the packaging and I love the way it was made, and I also love that if you finish one of the shades, like for say this one, if I were to be out of it, like you could just easily pop them out and go buy just this shade. You don't have to buy like the whole palette, which tends to be a big problem with a lot of contour palettes. But I'm still gonna give this one away because I already have another contour palette, and I feel like I haven't reached to this one in a long time, and maybe somebody else can find a purpose for it. So this is another Z palette that I customized. This one's full of Bisou shadows. This one is, I don't know the name. A lot of them I couldn't peel off the name. Okay, so most of them are like not really easy to pop out. So these are all Bisou shadows. I don't reach to them as much, but I'm still gonna go ahead and keep it because my best friend gave me some of these shades. I don't remember which ones, and I don't want to give it away just because, you know, they're special to me and they mean something. So for sentimental values, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. So far I only have one and I have 6 over here. Now these are the Sephora customizable Z palettes. I don't have anything in this one. I used to have Bisou shadows that are now living on the bigger Z palette. But I feel like I want to keep this one just in case, you know, I travel and I want to take just in particular any shades. I could just pop them in here and take this, and it's a lot smaller and more compact. This has 2 MAC shades that I depotted, and then I think these are from Urban Decay. The thing is that some of them had like really bad like glue in the back, so you can't really pick them up. And I think this one is from Makeup Forever. No, this one's from Buxom. I'm sorry. This one's from Buxom, that little lavender one. And this one, if I can pick it up, doesn't have a name, but it's pretty. Like, it has a nice pigmentation. Like, it's a nice thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and keep this one as well, like I said, just for storing purposes. Now this palette is by the brand Profusion. This was one of the first palettes that my husband gave me, and honestly it's a good palette. I just don't see myself reaching to it anymore, and I kind of feel bad because, like I said, I want to give them a chance that other people can use them more. So I think I'm gonna give this one away. So this one is a Blink eyeshadow palette, and this one came broken. I got this at as well in BoxyCharm, but it came broken and I never reached back to it, so I'm gonna repurpose this one. I'm giving that away. And this one, I guess it's like one of my favorite palettes ever. This is a NARS magnetic palette that I made out of Luxie Beauty shadows. These are all Luxie Beauty shadows that I bought. This one's in Giggity. This one is very beautiful. And I kind of custom made my own little neutral palette. I kind of want to say that. And I love this palette, so this one I'm keeping. This one is another customizable. There was a time where I got really into customizing my own palettes, and I got into it. So this one is full of blushes. These are all Bisou blushes. If you've never heard of Bisou blushes, they're super affordable, you guys. And not to mention, they're super affordable, and also they're super duper pigmented. This one is by Makeup Geek, by the way. I think it's like the only Makeup Geek product that I have, to be honest. But the rest of them, like I said, this one's from Bisou, and it's like hella pigmented. Like, look at that. And not even with just with a finger, like when you use this with a brush, like super hella pigmentation. And I love that it's like a tin can, so really nice. This one is another customizable palette. This one I created. My best friend was so kind to get me all the new blushes from Bisou that they launched, and this one is in Toronja, by the way. I love Toronja, and so I put them here. These are the palettes that she was selling. I'll put her information down below just in case you guys want to get one of these. I think she was selling them for $6 or $7, and they're pretty good. They're magnetic, and you can't, you know, the shadows won't fall off. So really good and affordable customizable palette. This one is the Kylie Jenner Royal Peach palette. Now my husband, this is another palette that my husband went out and beyond his ways to give me. I think he gave me this for my birthday, if I'm not mistaken, or Valentine's Day. One of those two. He gave me this one, and I love this palette. There was a time in my channel where I was obsessed. I'll try to link a video in the little iCards. You guys can see that I was really, really obsessed. Now these are the Makeup Forever palettes. This one is in number 2. And I have to be honest with you guys, when I bought these, I was really, really into Makeup Forever eyeshadows. This one is practically new. I've never even used it. So I think I'm gonna repurpose these because they never got love from me, and it's like, why keep them? They're gorgeous and the colors work absolutely amazing, but I just never reach into them. Now this is a Tarte Pro Glow. This is like another bronzing palette, and it also comes with highlighters, and it has these two cream contour shades. This one my husband gave it to me for Christmas. I don't always reach out to it. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it because it smells amazing, but I don't really reach out to it, so I need to start using that palette more. This is a Too Faced Cat Eyes eyeshadow and liner collection. I bought this at Marshall's, and it was like a really low price. I think it was like $6, and I never went back to it. Like, I just bought it, tried it one time. I don't think the shadows were great. That's why I never went back. I think the purple one in particular is freaking patchy. Like, you have to like literally scrape so much to get any pigmentation. Like, as you can tell, it gives you no pigmentation. So that one goes out the collection. This one is my first palette that my husband bought me from MAC, and it is from the Rihanna and MAC collection. Still has a little thing. This one was my favorite because there was a time where I was into very neutral eyes, so this was like my go-to palette. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one like for sentimental values. And the next palette we have is the Huda Beauty Desert Dusk palette. I love this palette. There's some shades in here that have given me a hard time. Like Cosmo is one of them, and I think Amethyst are one of the ones that I have a lot of trouble blending. But other than that, all these shades, some of the shimmers down there perform really nicely, and I love that it has a huge mirror. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. Now this is the BH Cosmetics Backlight Highlight. I don't typically reach out to this a lot because these are like really full-on colorful highlighters, but I want to keep this just because there's times where I do other people's makeup and they're looking for something different, and I would reach to this when they were looking for something different. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one. I know it seems like I'm not giving up much, but honestly, you guys, I am. This is a Too Faced Chocolate Bonbons. This is another palette that my husband got me. It took us forever to find this palette because it was sold out everywhere when it first came out. And honestly, the shadows are okay. There's some of them in here that I don't like. And I just love that it has a big, like a big setting color, and it has a lot of transition shades that are neutral. Has a little, I think the ones that I don't like are like the pops of color, like the pinks. This gray one and the purple one are terrible, so I think those are the ones that I don't like, but I'm still gonna go ahead and keep it. Now this is the Z palette that I told you guys. I customized it with Bisou shadows, and I think I was here trying to do like something really close to the Natasha Denona palette, and it's obviously not the same one, but it's close to that, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep that. These, like I said, are Bisou shadows, and they're super inexpensive, so I love Bisou shadows. They're super pigmented. Now this one is a Crown Beauty palette. I got this also in BoxyCharm, and I was not a fan. I'm gonna link the video where I did a demo using this palette in my BoxyCharm items that month, and I really did not like this palette, so yeah, this one goes out. And next I see the Carly Bible 10 color eyeshadow and color highlight palette. This palette, on the other hand, is super inexpensive. I think this one was like 10 bucks, and it has 4 highlighting shades. These obviously you can use them as eyeshadows or bronzers, or if you have deeper skin tones, you could totally rock these as highlighters. They're just a little dark for me, so I love it, but I bought the deluxe one that she just recently made, and this one's gonna go out to someone that needs it. So next I have the Jovi palette. This is a palette that actually my mom bought me when I started first loving makeup, and as you can see, it's like really colorful. It has a lot of good shades, but yeah, I don't reach out to it anymore, and it's been with me for quite some time, so I want to give it a chance to live. And I feel like the shadows are not as pigmented as when my mom bought it for me. So yeah, I think I'm gonna start, you know, giving it away. I have the Kat Von D contour palette, and I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one since I took out the NYX one, but they're very pretty similar and comparable. So if you're looking into a contour palette, I would highly suggest the NYX one because it's $15 versus this one that is like $49, I think, or $39, and super inexpensive. The NYX one is super inexpensive and it works just as good. So try that one first if you're in the look for a contour palette. This is the Pure Cosmetics Sawyer Diaries. I love this palette because it's like marble all over and a rose gold. You guys know I am obsessed with rose gold. But I'm not going to go ahead and keep this because I do have these shades somewhere in other palettes. And I want to give this palette a time to shine. So I'm just going to go ahead and give it away to someone that wants it or needs it. Okay, so here I have the, I think this is the Alchemist holographic palette. This is a highlighter palette from Kat Von D. I don't reach out to it as much, but I really like the shades. When I do try these highlighters, I feel like they don't budge. They do have really good pigmentation and they don't accentuate texture, which is something that I like. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep these. This one is the Alamar Cosmetics Reina del Caribe palette, volume 1. I love this palette, you guys. The shimmers, amazing. The mattes, amazing. Blends like butter, and I feel like they're super pigmented. I feel like this palette doesn't get enough love. It was launched like through social media, and I feel like it was lacking a lot of support because this is actually a really good palette. I don't know why people don't talk about it more, but I really love it. Next, I have the Urban Decay Electric palette. This palette, you guys, I suffered so much to get it, and when I finally got it, I got it for like $14 on their website. It was on sale. I think they were gonna discontinue it, so it went on sale. When I got it, I was super excited. I was like, oh my god, I got the electric palette, I can't wait. Super colorful looks that I can create and stuff. But when I started using it, there are some shades that stain you, but there's also some shades that look super pigmented. Like I know, I think this one was the one that gave me like the hardest time to blend out. It is pigmented, but it can make you look like super muddy, and it can also show off a little dark. So yeah, I was a little disappointed in the colors. I'm gonna go ahead and keep it because it's like my only crazy palette that I have. So yeah. This is the Nicole Guerriero and Anastasia collaboration highlighting palette. I don't even have to dig into this. I'm gonna keep this because I love Nicole and that's final. So next I have the Aurora Glow Kit from Anastasia. This, you guys, I bought it at, I think it was Marshall's. Oh, TJ Maxx for $24.99. I've not even digged on it because I bought it and I just put it in here. So I think I'm gonna repurpose this one. Anyway, I already kept the BH and the Alchemist, so I don't need another colorful highlighting palette. So I'm gonna go ahead and give this one away, and it's brand new, so someone lucky will use it. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. You guys, when this palette came out, I was super obsessed. It's like my name in eyeshadows. This is all calling my name. But I don't see myself using it as much. I don't know if it was just hype of having the new product or what happened, but I want to reach out to it more. I feel like there's a lot this palette can give me, and I just have been neglecting her. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep you, baby. This is the Anastasia, oh, I have a brush in here, World Traveler palette. You guys, look at how nasty this palette looks. This palette has been beat to the core, like this one right here. Soft Peach was my favorite setting shade, and Spoiled is my favorite glitter, along with Pink Champagne. Look at this mirror, it looks disgusting. So I'm gonna go ahead and repurpose this one, disinfect it, and give it to somebody that would want it. Now I have the Artist palette, also by Anastasia. You guys, this used to be like my holy grail palette because of Dusty Rose. I feel like I love Dusty Rose. I don't think it has it in the new palettes. I think that's why I kept this one. The other shades, you know, they're okay. They're not as pigmented, not even coal. Comes off a little grayish and patchy, if you could see. So it's not the best palette, but I think I only kept it because of Dusty Rose. So I'm gonna go ahead and repurpose her. Now this is the Kylie The Wet Set Pressed Illuminating Powders. You guys, I was so like happy when I saw this going back on sale, and the packaging is gorgeous, not to mention, but I have to be honest and I have to say I have not reached into this palette. It's brand spanking new. When I got it, I didn't want to touch it at all. It was like I wanted it just to collect it. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one so I can try it out. Maybe I can do a review for you guys on the Wet Set from Kylie. And now I have the Naughty palette from Kylie. This one was for her holiday collection last year. I bought this one on sale, by the way. And the color story is gorgeous, you guys. I think I've only used it once, and I used the shade. I think I used these four: Tipsy, Glaze, Hot Toddy, and Saint Nick. And I think it was in the picture. If you go to my Instagram, you can reference this color from the picture that I was doing an inspired look by Desi. That's the picture. I use this palette, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep this one as well, just to try to give it as much love as I can. This one is a Kylie Purple palette. This is like the only 9 shadow palette that I have from her, because in total I have like 4 or 5 palettes from Kylie. And honestly, this one has been the only one that like catches my attention. The colors are just so gorgeous and pretty. Like, I don't know, it's like from another world. So I love this palette. I do have a tutorial on this. I will link it also, so you guys can go check it out. And we're almost coming to an end. How exciting. So the next palette I want to talk about is the Tartelette Tease palette. You guys know I would always rave about this palette. It is my ride or die when I travel, but I'm gonna go ahead and let her go. I feel like I don't reach out to it anymore, so it has to look for an own family. There's a bronzer, so I'm not gonna talk about this one. I don't know why it's here, but. And last but not least, this is the Just Peachy Mattes, and I don't really think there's much to say, guys. I freaking love this palette, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it. And for the final palette, I don't have it in that drawer, but it's over here in this one. This is a Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. I can't, you guys. I can't get over her. Like, too amazing. It even has its own spot. That's how obsessed I am with it. So that is the end for our decluttering palettes. Let me just show you guys how much I took out. Hold on. So this is the amount of palettes that I'm gonna repurpose and give out. Look at these shades though. And this is gonna be the amount of palettes I'm gonna put back into their drawer and try to give them a little bit more love. My drawer is like really nasty, you guys. But I'm gonna try to give these palettes a lot more love. I feel like they deserve it. And okay, so this brings us to an end to the first video of our new series, Decluttering My Makeup. This was the palette edition. I hope you guys were not like, oh my gosh, she's trying to brag on how many eyeshadow palettes she has. That was like not even the case or the scenario. I'm just trying to declutter and probably do some good also to people who might need, you know, makeup, and I'm just hoarding all this makeup. So Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to you guys see episode number 2. Always, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment down below what do you guys think. Please don't comment down below that you want the pallets, because I'm not gonna ship them to you. I'm gonna give them to people who, you know, there's a shelter in my town and it's for women, so I think I'm gonna take them there just so they can empower these women to keep going and look beautiful and feel stronger. So please don't message me that you want the pallets. I won't give you the pallets because, you know, they're gonna be donated to a good purpose. So thank you all so much for watching, like always, and until next time, I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.